marathon so that you could watch them over the course of the week. Half the
videos have been flagged unfit for advertisers or ad-unfriendly content. Now I was just thinking about what we watched yesterday. Raw gameplay with commentary over it, episodes of DSP Tries It. We certainly did not watch my most risque moments as a content creator. There was no racism in there, right? There was no Nazi jokes. There was nothing bad in any of the content that we watched. I'm gonna repeat that for all of you, okay? I really don't like putting out content that I feel has no meaning. And that is the major difference between me and probably the vast majority of people on the internet who make content. Medical condition. It's not funny. It's something I've had to deal with my whole life. It's not funny to make fun of someone for having a medical condition. It's something that's been prevalent in my videos for 15 years because I've always had it. I don't know why people think it's funny.
I gotta say, ever since doing videos here on YouTube, I've been grateful for my audience. They've been giving me a lot of love, a lot of feedback, whether I'm getting better or I need to work on something. I am ever grateful to you guys. And the fact is, I have a lot of fun, doing this stuff, especially making fun of Phil. However, in Phil's case, he, so far with season 16 of the craziness he's got going on, he's been slowly about to go off hinge. Now, you're probably wondering, okay, Vanguard, what are you talking about this time? Well, Phil has been given some hints of, well, I wouldn't say hints, he's actually now acknowledging an interview that he wants to do, but before he wants to do his interview, he decided he want to go on a long rant about how things happen in 2023. And instead of me flipping my gums about it, let's just get right into the video, shall we?
When people were basically doing a lot of nonsensical negative campaigns against me on the internet. Remember, years ago, I got kicked out of the Twitch partner program. And
Phil, the main reason why you got kicked out of the Twitch partner program was because, again, you said some very racial jokes. Since you still seem to like to forget, let me go ahead and show one of them right here.
Oh, ding dong there. Oh, fucking shit, look, my pan on fire. Fuck, I don't know what I'm doing. Save me. Save me both, man. Too much.
Prime example, Phil, you said this. These are the reasons why you got kicked out of there, okay? I really get sick and tired of repeating things over and over. I don't know if you're just doing this on purpose to, kind of get on my nerves about it, but seriously, man, move on.
they did the same thing everywhere. They did the same thing to Teespring, so I can't make shirts. They did the same thing to every service out there. And basically what it is, they made literally they made a package of toxic stuff that I said 14 years ago.
Phil, you said it 14 years ago, you said it 13 years ago, you said it 12, 10, 11, I can go on and on. You still say the crazy stuff to this very day. This very day, Phil. It's actually quite annoying, and I'm actually already, a couple minutes in, and I'm already getting annoyed that you are still repeating the same BS. It's like you're trying to still want to play this damn victim mentality. When you gonna finally grow up and get out of that mentality and want to become a warrior, a king or something? Not the king of hate, but a king of something. Like, goodness gracious, dude.
Original YouTube stuff from back in the day where I would say things that could be considered today as either racist or bigoted or sexist, you know, and they took the worst of the worst and made a package of it and just sent it everywhere. Oh, this is
Phil, because you have not improved. You didn't apologize for it. You still do it. In my last video, I showed how you said that STD joke in the game, and I'll post it right here one more time since you seem to like to forget.
It is like, oh, you fucking bitch. So he won't get icicle up his butt, and she won't get a burning sensation in the nether regions. I believe that's what I said earlier, right?
Sorry, I just had that moment where just pure anger just came to my fucking head.
Yeah, you said this, Phil. It's still a shock you even said that. No, you have not changed. You still come up with the same sad excuse each and every time.
That you have in your business right now. But it's over a decade old. I don't do that stuff anymore. I've apologized for that behavior and the mistakes of the past, right? But they act.
Hold on, let me post this other thing he said when the Sidescrollers called his ass out.
Is there things that go on that, like, in your head that might, because the way it sounds, like, it seems like you kind of just fly off the handle sometimes and do shit and say shit that that gets you in trouble. Like, I mean, it almost feels like I need to be worried about you, dude. Like, what's gonna happen next? You say you've changed, but you know, it turns out that racist video with the little girl was only like 7 months ago. It wasn't a year ago. That's pretty recent, dude.
You
know,
can,
so
again, you
like,
can say it's you can say it's racist. That was not what I was making
bro,
a joke about.
bro, I'm telling you, it doesn't matter. The internet and I thinks it's racist. I saw it, and it's fucking racist. So you're talking about a killer who's killing people in their basement, and then so you're bringing up the slave, you're like sending a little girl off to the slave trade. I don't know. It's pretty obvious. All right. So I know you claim that it isn't, but it really did sound that way. But that's whatever. I don't know, man. It just feels like.
No, Craig, we can't hear you.
Yeah, that joke, Phil. I don't know why I'm repeating these things all over again, Phil. Like, goodness gracious, I'm seriously starting to think you're ripping me. You're literally ripping me in order to get my blood pressure going.
Today. So all these businesses and services basically said, you can't use us anymore. So that's the thing, like, in regards to having automated pop-ups and automated tracking of things like tips and stuff, I can't even use it. I have to manually do it, which is fine.
But you manually do it. The only reason why you like to bring tips, aka PayPal, so you can still get 90% of the cut, or it's like 89%, whatever. You still get a good percentage of that money. Where if it goes through YouTube, you take a certain cut. We all know that, Phil.
I'm okay with manually doing it because that ensures that I am giving credit where credit is due, and every contribution gets shouted out. I'm not some ginormous streamer who's getting 5,000 contributions an hour, and I can't shout them out, you know, with the level of that I have.
Phil, no matter what, whether it's a shout out, kissing your ass, you'll read it. If it's something that's giving you some constructive criticism, you ignore it and you say they're a troll, and you end up banning them, Phil. No, you do get a certain amount of money each and every time. Some nights it could be 100, other nights it could be 200, 300. Anyways, it don't matter. You get money either way, and you just still beg beg for the very next day. You ungrateful, selfish human being.
That I have, I'm totally good with manually shouting out every contribution that comes in, and in fact, I want to do it that way. So that's why there's no automation available with this kind of stuff. I just have to do it manually.
Yeah, you do it manually, so that way you know how much money you're getting coming in, Phil. That's why you love it that way.
Bookworm says, I still want, I did nothing wrong coffee mug. You do realize, Bookworm, that's literally not what I just said, right? Like,
Phil, Bookworm was literally cracking a joke. How do you not catch on that? You take it way too seriously. Even I can see that with my own visor, Phil.
Did stuff wrong in the past. I totally admit that. I 100% am telling you, in my past, I did these things because the internet was very different. It was kind of the Wild West. Nobody cared. There was no crowd micromanaging and judging every word that you say. There was no cancel culture back then. And people wanted that kind of content. Literally.
Let me calm down. Phil, you were doing it back then. You try to do it now, but you do it here and there. The only reason why you don't do it that much is you know it gets clipped and we bring it up. You have not changed. You're still that same arrogant young prick when you first started, back in 2005, 2006, whenever. You're still that same dude.
Audience on YouTube wanted that content. That's what they were looking for. That's how I originally got popular, because I was known as the irreverent guy who will just say anything without any checks, right? But now, today, I'm different. I've changed. I've matured.
Hold on. Let me post some of the clips what he done, especially in 2023.
Kobo. And we got an achievement at the precipice. Look at his butt. He's he let loose all the farts he had stored up there during that base invasion. He's like, oh, I'm so glad we're going back to Kobo. Whoa. The graphics are so funny, yo. The fucking.
Like I'm not.
Come on.
Start up some arrays. Punch a hole in the abyss and fly through.
Look, they're doing it. Look at his butt. His butt's doing it. His butt's doing it. Ooh, some force gas.
Not funny. Dick rap.
Now we know the force is just his controlled farts. It's controlled fart throwing. He farts and he goes, lift, and the gas makes them all flow. And he pushes them off the ledges with these intense gaseous explosions.
Sit down.
Oh my god. Come on, man. I can't believe this game. I can't. Oh, man. That's the force. It's the butt force. Oh, my God. The colon. They call it the colon blow, actually. Oh. Son of a bitch. This game is something else, man. Let the gas flow through you. Where are we going right now? Wipe the floor with this mohawk. Wait, what? I'm gonna wipe the floor with my mohawk? I don't know if that's... Doesn't sound too intimidating. However, it is time for some booty juice. Look at it. There it is. There's the Jedi fart attacks.
Change, huh? You change and mature, huh? Nope. Still the same dude. Still the same. Thank you for proving my point, Phil.
You know? But I fessed up to my mistakes of the past. And that's why I think it's unfair that I get judged in 2023, I guess now in 2024, for things I did 15 years ago as if that's something I did yesterday.
Because you did do it yesterday, Phil. You still do it. The reason why you get judged harshly is because you constantly do the same thing over and over and over again. It's like insanity. You constantly keep doing the same thing, hoping for a different outcome, Phil. That's the reason why you get criticized harshly.
I mean, a completely different guy. I don't do that stuff anymore. I've changed everything.
That boy is so good. Come on, can I see my tips now?
There you go. Double M says, I saw your Revelations 1 playthrough. That was over a decade ago, right? It's filled with edgy teenage humor about girls' bodies. I'm glad you've changed. See?
Yeah, he cringes at that, but has no problem cracking gay jokes. As a matter of fact, let me post 1 or 2 right here.
I love you. I love you. I love you. I'll go to the ends of the earth for you, mister. Quick, loosen your pants. Wait, what? This is from that perfume? Damn, it really does work. Hey, why don't we go somewhere quiet? Just you and me, bro. His face is flushed. I can practically hear his heart beating and his crotch throbbing. Oh no! I love you, mister! I love you! Let's do this! Oh, I love you! I love you, yo! Oh, I love you! Oh! He's gone berserk! I can't just fight him again while he's like this. I have to get out of here! No, screw the water! Wait, screw me! Well, that's some typical Yakuza-style humor. Oh my god, we gotta outrun him! Oh my god, he's right there! His boner's out! Run! Quickly!
You have no problem cringing when it comes to boobies and all that stuff, whatever. When it comes to like man stuff, like the man shirtless, whatever, you laugh, you giggle, you crack up. I'm starting to think, Phil, that you are a DL. I'm really starting to think that.
That was constant. Like, I was known as the guy who always made these, like, cringe-worthy sexual references, and now I never do that. It's completely the opposite, right? There you go. Oh, no, Bookworm, I'm not saying... No, don't worry about that. No worries, all right? So there you go. Okay. So... Ah, my nose. Hold on.
Why don't you just go ahead and blow your nose for crying out loud, but do it off screen.
We're going to get to the topic at hand, but before we get to the topic at hand, all right, I just want to say thank you to everyone. I appreciate you all. We're going to now get into the topic everyone's been wanting.
Goodness gracious, Phil, stop stalling. Get to the topic.
I know, I believe Ponage says, why don't you do shout-outs before we get to the topic? Literally, I have 1 tip so far. That's it. There's nothing really to shout out. So I think we will get into the topic now that everyone wants to hear about. All right, and then we'll get to... shout-outs.
Phil, fuck your shout-outs, fuck the tips, get to the topic.
After that, all right? All right, so ladies and gentlemen, here's the deal. Because the rumors have already hit the internet. There's already rumblings. There's already information out there. So I am here to basically clarify everything, to clear the air, and to let you know exactly what is going on. All right? Last year was a very drama...
Oh my god, here he goes. He's got to go into story time telling, Phil. Story time telling, excuse me. Anyways, he's about to get into one of his stupid long stories. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, get some popcorn, whatever. Or, Matt, you know what? Forget the popcorn. Get your weed, get your alcohol, get whatever you need, because you're going to need to get through this part.
Nonsensical year for me. Against my will and against my wishes. Correct? I think we can all agree. Last year, there was a lot of very negative talk about me on the internet, in some cases from really big YouTubers.
Well, nobody had you against your will. Number one, you're home 16 hours. Well, excuse me, you're home majority of the days anyways. I was about to say the wrong thing. You stream 16 hours a day. You're pretty much home. You don't take off only one day during the week. You're online 6 days a week, Phil. Nobody holds you against your will. You choose to be a hermit in that nasty house that you never clean.
Now, in some cases, being very transparent here, when I got criticized by Moist Critical, and he was like, dude, I can't believe he's saying the things he's saying on his streams to his viewers about income and stuff like that. It seems... All right, guys, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm frustrated for two reasons. Reason number one, because yeah, the game does suck. I really did not like tonight's stream. And in addition to that, as you guys can see, I stayed extra late for you guys, and basically it amounted to nothing. No one's really supported, which pisses me off. It does. Yeah, I'm playing a game. Obviously, it's frustrating. A lot of people showed up to watch it because you saw how frustrating it was, and no one supported. Yeah, that does upset me. Okay? It would have been one thing if I'm staying late and people are laughing, having a good time, and a few people are at least supporting the stream, but no one did. And that really upsets me. I'm going to hope that tomorrow when I finish it, there will be some support, because it is pissing me off that I just stayed extra late and I got nothing for it. You know, the game's not even good.
Yeah, he just goes full mask
if
off.
this were me, I'm not even exaggerating. If this were me not streaming, playing this, I would have just turned the game right off and said, fuck this, I'm not playing this anymore. But the fact that I'm now 5 hours into it, obviously I want to finish it, you know, but I toughed it out for you guys tonight and I got nothing out of it.
He then goes on to say, like, he doesn't even know if he'll be able to afford Gotham Knights on Friday because no one has donated enough, and he's not sure if they'll donate enough tomorrow. But that's his whole brand now. People watch DSP for, like, the shit show of it. Like, if you type in Darkside Phil, for example, like, I'm going to test this. I'm not logged in on my main account here, so I guess we'll see. If you just type in Darkside Phil, like, the first channels you get, I imagine, are going to be, like, Bill Furnell, which is just the play off of his actual name. Just all of these channels that make memes of him. So let's see. Yeah, his channel is the fourth thing there. And it's just, like, it just, that's his whole brand. So it's not really the same. It's just very different niche. Is it DSP Gaming? I thought it was just Darkside Phil. Did I get them wrong? Which one does he stream on? Because this is the one with 7,000. Oh, you're right. It is DSP Gaming. I don't even remember him making that switch. Oh, you're right. 62,000 videos. Whoops. But it's just, I don't know, it's not the same as like the Boogie situation, because this is just what he does. That is his whole brand.
Disrespectful. He doesn't seem like he has any gratitude. You know, you can't say that kind of stuff. That resonated with me. It struck a chord, correct? And I agreed with him after watching myself back. You know, this is from like the fall of 2022, okay?
You really didn't look back at it at all. You took a quick glance, didn't do much change, and then once you got into 2023, you tried to make it seem like you was this good guy, but you still kept falling back to how you truly are, Phil.
Myself back. That stuff, I was like, he's right. He's absolutely right. I sometimes get so full of emotion, whether it's fear, you know, because of finances and stuff like that, or it could be many different things.
Biggest reason why you have financial issues is because you love giving Vince McMahon a good chunk of your YouTube money. There's been countless evidence proving that, Phil, but you don't want to admit to it. You don't want to cut back on it. You still want to constantly give Vince your money. That's your biggest issue right there, along with DoorDash and Jen.
When I'm playing Street Fighters, all these things. Whenever I get full of emotion, I tend to just go off the cuff and say things that I probably should not publicly say. What a great player. I couldn't do fucking anything to his basic pattern bullshit once again. An unstoppable pattern. Literally. playing a pattern and my moves drop when I can capitalize and I lose. Fuck this fucking scrub. Fucking jumping, spamming, scrubby fucking idiot. You suck. Of course! Twice in a row. Three fucking times. 4 fucking times. 4 fucking times drive impact. What the fuck? What the fuck? If it wasn't going to come out, how is it that late? If it's not gonna super cancel, how the fuck does it super cancel that fucking late? Fuck this game. That is nonsense. I can't fucking block. What a great player. He really deserved the win. What a piece of shit. Nothing I can do. Can't react to it online. Impossible. Still can't do anything. Just guessing. Still can't do anything. Literally 6 guesses in a row. Keep stuffing me. Nothing I can do. All guesses. Literally nothing skillful yet. Still waiting. Nothing I can do. Literally nothing you can do to shitty online pattern king. If you don't have a true reversal, he can just sit there and guess. Guess a throw, guess a shoryuken, guess a combo, guess a throw, guess a driver. He just guesses, and you can't do anything about it. It's trash gameplay for fucking idiots. It's brainless. Ken is a brainless fucking character in this game.
You do that even outside of Street Fighter, outside of Modern Warfare, any other game where, again, somebody gives you some good constructive criticism or feedback, you get pissed off, you pretty much berate them and ban them.
And I should be called out for it, rightfully. However, I felt that at that point, there were too many people who had only heard the negative and had no idea about the positive about me.
Phil, what positive? What positive? When I first started looking at you, I even told Richard, why we look at this dude? It wasn't until Duty told me that you gotta look further into it. When I started to look into it for myself, Phil, I saw how you truly are. There's not much positive because you are 90% negative. Okay, that's how you are, Phil. You've not done anything to change. You were negative 15 years ago, you're negative to this very day, and you're going to be negative in 2024.
You know, obviously, if I'm here after 15 years and I have a community who watches me every day, likes my content and supports it, I'm doing something right.
Your community is about like a handful of people, maybe at tops, I don't know, 100, maybe 150 that likes your content. The rest of people just pretty much clip you and make fun of you, Phil, just like I do.
I wouldn't still be here if I wasn't doing something right. There's people who are here for a good, positive reason.
Yeah, the reason why you're here, Phil, is because you beg too much. There's been countless of times you've done that. You did it yesterday, you're going to definitely do it today as well.
I felt like it wasn't fair because these big YouTubers who always name drop me never examined that half of it. They only examine the negative because that's what gets thrown in their face by the toxicity of YouTube. That's how YouTube works. Promote the toxic, push the negative forward. Right?
You're the king at doing that, Phil. You do it all the damn time. Again, stop with the fillers, stop with the stalling, get to the main topic.
And so I said, if you're going to talk bad about me, why not interview me? Correct?
Jeremy, aka the Courting, Phil, yeah. I didn't forget about that. He gave you a little puff piece, and you thoroughly enjoy it.
Like, why not just talk to me directly? Because if I felt like if someone would just have a conversation with me to see that I'm a real guy, I'm not just some asshole who you see the negative highlights of, but I'm actually just a real person.
Phil, you are an asshole. Let me show you exactly what you did back again in 2023.
I'm just trying to entertain you every day, acting like this is some kind of a fucking scientific show about PCs or something. It's not. So, newsflash, this isn't Linus Tech Tips. This isn't Digital Foundry. This is DSP Gaming. I'm a 41-year-old guy who has very limited knowledge about this stuff, and I'm just winging it every day. It's time to stop being assholes. All right? Really. And if you want to live in that toxic asshole world, then stay off my streams, because I don't want you here. I don't want people coming and spamming my streams, demanding things for a fucking hour from me. Yes, perhaps you could have thought that yesterday I was being rude to you, Lavinia, but literally you sat here in the chat, spammed my fucking podcast, demanding my attention during the time that wasn't even Q&A. Fuck off and get banned and don't come back. You're an obnoxious individual, and we don't want your kind around here. We want people who are actually here to have a good time and be chill. So fuck off and kiss my ass.
Again, proving my point.
Perhaps you'd think a little differently, all right? So I presented that to the internet, and basically the only people who contacted me were drama brokers and people who were looking to boost their own presence on YouTube.
Phil, listen to me carefully. People wanted to give you a fair interview. What you wanted was a puff piece because the quarterly gave you a puff piece and you was hoping the same thing again. That's why he got a lot of heat, because he really didn't do no research into you, Phil. That's the biggest problem. So again, you'd rather have an interview where it's pretty much kissing up and not a fair one, ask you the hard questions such as your addictions to mobile games. Like, you didn't disprove that, pretty much proved that you still play that. Your bankruptcy and all that stuff. I want you to get into May 1st. That's already been beaten. That's pretty much a horse that's been beaten to death.
It wasn't like a Moist Critical who reached out to me and said, yeah, let's do an interview. It was like Review Tech USA, you know, oh, let's do an interview. No.
Review Tech USA wanted to do a very fair interview. He was going to ask you any crazy questions. He was going to ask you, like, you know, silly questions. He was going to ask you, like, okay, what about this situation with WWE champions? Why did you say this stuff back with your gaming and stuff? Why haven't you addressed situations where, again, your bankruptcy and stuff? Why you constantly try to hide that up? You know, he'll ask questions like that. I'm just paraphrasing what Rich may say, but anyways, continue on, Phil.
Every day name drop me because you don't make your own content. You just make drama and you name drop.
Let me just post what Rich does outside of his streams on his main channel right here.
Everything, or a lot of stuff about Insomniac Games. We know that, like, Sunset Overdrive made literally no money, like, at all. However, if you watch the Digital Foundry video with the beautiful man Richard Ledbetter,
congratulations,
there actually has been a performance boost to the new Steam Deck OLED due to it having faster memory. New PlayStation 5 Digital Edition would be hitting store shelves, and they will be called the PS5 Slim and PS5 Slim Digital Edition. Wow, the naming is very creative. I don't really care, that's fine. But the thing about the new
Rich actually posts his tech, Phil. Not all the time does he talk about you. There's other people he does talk about. Really, dude, it's just anyways, let's continue before I get a headache.
Purposes, you have no content of your own. I'm not going to give you more free content. You're out of your mind, you see. I wanted to have a real
Phil, we easily get that, like what I'm doing right now. This is free content. You don't have it where it's set behind a paywall, okay?
And it didn't happen, right? So then fast forward to March. And what happened was completely unrelated to anything in that realm of discussion, okay? Sidescrollers was a new podcast that was relaunching on...
He finally gets to this part here. I'd like to really hear how much he's going to stretch this argument.
It was a podcast that was run by Stuttering Craig, someone who in the past, over a decade ago, I had great dealings with. I would go on...
Hold on, let me post what Stuttering Craig said.
It's a no-brainer. So now this is an ongoing...
How fucking unbelievably arrogant do you have to be to think that highly of yourself? That is unreal to me. How somebody can have themselves on such a throne to say that, no, there's no way they could have potentially had this person on had I not come on their show first. There's no way. I'm Dark Side Phil. Here's a fucking newsflash for you. I knew Phil 10 fucking years ago. I hadn't talked to him in a decade. I had no idea who Phil was when I reached back out to him. I thought he was some guy from Screw Attack back in the day that had gone on and he was a content creator. And when I first introduced Phil and he was going to be on the show, I said he was some sort of meme lord. I didn't know shit. When I said it was a meme lord, I mean like people made fun of him on a day-to-day basis. That's all I knew. I didn't know about what he did on a day-to-day basis, but I was quickly exposed to what he is and who he is. And I gave him every fucking opportunity. Every fucking opportunity.
Yeah. Very much different to what Phil is saying right here.
guest when I was at the height of my YouTube popularity, and it was his convention. He had me there as a guest. Before then, I'd actually hung out with this guy at another convention, MagFest. I was
Phil, Craig said he only met you once. It was at some event, and that's the only time he met you. He doesn't really remember you from that, Phil. So why are you trying to retcon this whole thing?
years ago, screwtack.com and stuff like that. So he had reached out to me and said, hey, I know we haven't talked in years, but we're looking for guests for our show.
He did reach out to you, but he pretty much reached out to you because everybody wants you to do an interview. You finally got, in a way, pressure into doing it, and it was a very fair interview. But I got a strong feeling you're about to retcon this part right here, Phil.
I said, I'll be a guest, why not? And I saw their show, and their show is a variety show. Well, their show was a variety show.
This show is a variety show, even though it has went down ever since your interview. Let's move on.
About games and news. Now it's not anymore. Now they've actually used my interview as a platform to change their show and get popularity, but we'll talk about that later.
Phil, they were already popular. It's just that their popularity kind of went down a little bit. When they did the interview with you, a proper one, it rose their popularity back up. It's still popular, even though now there's a bit more of a split. Am I still watching Sidescrollers? No, because I have my own reasons why I don't support them anymore.
Basically, I say I'll be a guest on your show, but then they completely changed the deal. The deal was originally, I'm just going to be a guest. We'll talk about variety of topics. It'll be a fun show. Then it becomes, oh, well, what we want to do is we want to be the exclusive place for you to finally get that interview that you've always wanted.
And what's wrong with that, Phil? You can finally clear some things up. There's nothing wrong with an interview. It's not going to hurt you. It's not going to do anything. It's just going to give you, well, one, your side, and then the other side. Like, come on, buddy.
Always want an interview. I only wanted the interview because people were talking so negatively about me, right? So I was promised that this was going to be a fair interview.
Which it very much was a fair interview. Please move on.
Say my piece about all this stuff that people say about me over the years, and then after the interview, basically, I was going to get to be a guest on the show. That I needed to get through this interview first.
Phil, they were going to bring you on afterwards. They want to do a follow-up. The only reason why they didn't really get a chance to do that is the very next day when they had a decompress and each of them gave their own opinions. You got all pissed about it and then pretty much burned the bridge literally to the ground.
I could be a guest, and it would be just like everyone else who'd been on the show. At that point, for over a month, people have been guests on the show. No one else had to go through an interview, just me. Okay?
Now, they have interviewed quite a few people. I'm not going to end up posting what the other ones were because I haven't been watching since, well, technically the Melanie Mac situation.
I get paid nothing for this interview, for the record. It's just me giving them over 5 hours of my time.
Phil, the reason why it was a 5-hour interview, each question you decided to take 15 to 20 minutes just to answer. Adam was so done with it. That's why he went off the way he did. He was so done with you. You can clearly see it. Man, let me show that one small segment of how Adam's facial expression right here.
Flying this escort across the globe to spend Christmas with me. All right?
Well, as you can see, Adam wanted this to be over with and done because he was annoyed. Plus, he was hungry too at the same time.
Find out, was this a fair interview? No. All they had done was talk to
Let me just post what Phil said after that real quick.
By the way, you guys have been great. You've been great interviewers. You've been completely fair with me. You've given me, thank you. You guys have been the fairest shake I've ever gotten on the internet right now. Seriously, and you should be commended for being as...
Really, dude, really. I'm trying to stay calm, but yet he's constantly retconning things and it's getting my blood pressure going. Let's just continue with this damn video.
Haters and detractors for like weeks got all of their negative side of the story, literally never spoke to a single person about the positive side of things.
Phil, an interview is they're going to be looking at both sides, the good and the bad or whatever. Or should I say what he said and what she said. That's what an interview is, Phil. Here's the thing. When they gave you the questions, you kept dodging them. You didn't give a proper response. That's why they didn't believe you in him because, again, you gave no substance to why you're saying this situation is a lie. You tried to beat around the bush, and Craig and Adam saw through that.
All they did was research negative shit about me. And so they went into the interview with the mindset that they wanted to get me to confess to all these heinous things that I had done over the years. Wow, that's a great way to approach an interview, isn't it?
Because it's all well documented, Phil. And over the course of years, you have proven nothing where that stuff was a lie, except for the situation of the escort saga. That was a lie. Other than that, the rest of the stuff has been, in my opinion, proven to be facts about you.
And told everyone that the next day after the interview, they were going to have a decompression show where they play games, and then they were going to have a follow-up interview with me later. None of that happened. After
I already said my 2 cents in this one. Let's just move on, ladies and gentlemen.
Instead, they did a hit piece on me. Basically, for a whole day, they just crapped on me and made all negative references and took in a ton of money, thousands of dollars they received from my detractors and haters.
It wasn't that big of a huge amount, but Phil was salty because he didn't get not one single bit of that money, even though on his channel he got what, later on in the interview, $200-300 in tips and stuff like that. Yeah, again, you see, it's always about money when it comes to this dude.
Only that day, but they continued to milk this for weeks on end and months. It was months later.
Phil, they didn't really want to milk it. You kept bringing them up until Craig finally had enough and had to clap back. That's what happens. You kept running your mouth. Craig had to clap back. That was the whole situation right there, buddy.
Get me on the show or get onto my content. He wanted to play Street Fighter 6 with me. This guy,
because he wanted to give you another opportunity at getting some views, some ratings and stuff. Again, you turn that down. Phil, it's not like you're gonna meet with the man in person, shake his hands, and have dinner with him. You're just playing Street Fighter Online. That was another golden opportunity that you decided to piss away.
would not stop. Basically, he saw me as a big cash cow, and he wanted to keep riding those coattails. Now, since that show, all right, they have basically gotten some notoriety in the conservative political community, which is hilarious because when they started the show...
Okay, he is somewhat correct on this part. Again, I'm not talking about anybody's political views, but Phil, you also a little more right, lean right anyways.
They always said there was not going to be about politics. Now the only attention they get is when they talk about politics, and they've turned it into a right-wing political show. That's their show now. All bolstered by when I was on it. And by the way, my interview continues to be the most watched thing they've ever done.
Yeah, because it was one of the biggest hypes, and it did live up to it, Phil. That's the reason why people still watch it. Hell, from time to time when I work and I'm bored, I'll just tune in and watch it again. It's, in a way, it's very interesting. In some ways, it's kind of funny. In other ways, it's also kind of annoying at the same time. It's really strange, but it's a fun strange in a way, ladies and gentlemen, when you watch that interview.
The part about it is the interview never actually did anything in the realm of what I wanted. The whole point of the interview that I wanted to do was that...
Again, you wanted a puff piece. I'm glad Sidescrollers did not give you that.
Know about me, can watch the interview, learn, and then there's no questions anymore about that stuff. In the end, all that interview ever did was it went around my detractor circle.
Phil, first and foremost, what you have done since 2005, again, is well documented. All you do is toxic stuff. Say toxic things. Do toxic things. This is what you are known for, Phil. This is not a character. This is who you are.
It didn't actually hit mainstream. No one really cared about that interview outside of the detractors. So it didn't really get to serve the purpose, but I'll say this, at the very least, basically all the bullshit about those negative things, those questions, those accusations, the conspiracies, it all went away.
No, it didn't get away. No, it did not went away. It's still here, Phil. It's just that now you've done other things that sort of have stack up on that mountain.
No one really comes on my stream and talks about it anymore because I've already said my piece and I'm not wasting time anymore with that shit. I'm done with it. I told you guys I'm done with those topics. We're done with it, right? So, after that, I made it my philosophy to stay out of drama. And
he never stood out of it. When he got comfortable, whether he was playing a game or he was getting mostly intoxicated, he pretty much, when he likes to drink off screen, he goes right into the drama. There's been too much documentary showing that, especially in 2023, and you could say in 2022.
Interviews, I'm not going to be doing any kind of anything with anyone. Even though people did reach out to me, oh, I want to interview Phil and this or that. Even, what's his name, Mudahar or whatever, he reached out to me. Oh, I'm going to pay you $5,000 for an interview. And I said, I don't want your money. I'll do an interview, but we're not talking about this drama.
He was willing to give you some money so that we can do another interview. He was interested. You turned it down, which shocks my mind that you even turned that much down. He was just, all you had to do is just take the money, do the interview, keep it fair, and everything would be peaceful. But nah, you, again, when it comes to you, you like being this control freak, and you like it done your way, plus with money.
I've already addressed it. All the conspiracies are just that. I'm not wasting my time. If you want to have an intelligent discussion about interesting topics, I'll do it. The moment you bring up drama, I'm gone. And then he ghosted me and never contacted me ever again.
Because he wasn't going to waste his time. If he can't have a fair interview and give you a puff piece, why waste his time? That's why he decided to move on from you.
These people want is drama. They don't actually want to talk about facts like fucking mature adults. All they want is milk drama so they can make money on YouTube. They're all
Phil, you keep dodging certain things that they should be addressed. When Craig asked you about sending screenshots of WWE champions, you dodge that. That's the biggest problem. You have not addressed none of this stuff. You keep on dipping and dodging, and that's why I am a firm believer that you do this stuff.
greedy. So anyway, I stayed out of it. Completely, 100%. And I didn't address any more of this bullshit for the rest of 2023, and things went smoothly. However, there were still people who tried to pull me in, right? These idiots trying to get me to go on a fucking podcast.
He's talking about when Keemstar offered him $50K to do the Local podcast. Keemstar actually felt a little bad because Phil was begging. He's like, hey, listen, dude, let me do this podcast with you, Wings, and Boogie. Wings and Boogie were on board with it. Phil did not, because in his mind, he wanted nothing to do with Keemstar.
Was never involved in whatsoever, and they lied about that and tried to make shit up and talking shit about me. People making documentaries about me, right? Which is hilarious. The whole term documentary is hilarious.
Oh, God. Hilarious, huh? Hilarious. I like to hear your definition of what a documentary is, Phil.
If all you do is research shit that's already on the internet, and you regurgitate it into a 2-hour video, and all you do is add a little bit of commentary, that's not a documentary.
So then what the fuck is it? Because that's what a documentary is. It documents your events, the things you have done over a set amount of time, Phil. They give their 2 cents, they make it long, they bring other parts into it, they interview people, Phil. That's what a documentary is. Fuck, yeah, God. Did you graduate grade school? Did you graduate grade school? Because if you didn't, you need to go back and get your GED.
Everyone else did work for you. All you did was regurgitate the toxicity and the conspiracy. You added really nothing besides...
Phil, it's because it's a lot easier now with the internet. Back then, when you had to do a documentary, you had to go to the person. You had to find information. You had to dig. And it took much longer compared to now, where you can get this stuff off the internet.
Commentary on top, that's not a documentary. It doesn't even add anything. All it does is kind of summarize all the negative shit people have said. So... with all that going on, right? People come, oh, will you do an interview with the guy who did the documentary and this or that? And ultimately I said, no, I'm not doing any of that.
And the biggest reason why, Phil, is unless it's a puff piece, if they gave you those hard, fair questions, you're going to turn tail and run. You're not going to dodge the question this time. You're going to run.
The funny part is, someone actually asked me a question last year, and it resonated with me. They said, you know, Phil, all these people on the internet are constantly talking negatively about you. Any of these people, do they ever...
That person that asked you that, was that the voices you heard, or was that Jenny talking to you, aka the Jen?
reach out to you to talk to you, right? Did they ever go to you for information or to get your side of the story or whatever? And I answered very honestly, no, not once. In all this time, 15 years I've been on YouTube and all the negative videos and the documentaries and everything done, not once has anyone ever made a legit effort to get my actual side of anything.
My God. This guy and his retconning. He wants a puff piece. This is what he wants. He wants another courting, or should I say Jeremy interview, where pretty much his ass is kissed throughout the entire thing, and no fair questions are brought up and not answered. Good God Almighty.
Instead, it's always we believe all the toxic shit and just report the toxic shit, and that's it. Even the side scroller.
If he keeps continuing on giving me nothing but filler, I might cut this video short because this is gonna be ridiculously long, like my first one in 2024.
It seemed like it was going to be neutral, was revealed to be an actual attempt to get me to basically fess up to shit I didn't do for their own purposes. They wanted to be the group to...
You have done nothing to disprove that. You have not shown evidence of how that's a lie. You, again, dip and dodge. In other words, you also say, well, that's not true, and da-da-da-da-da. Well, that's not true, and da-da-da, but there's no facts, there's no evidence proving your side of the story.
We did it. We got Darkside Phil to spill the beans on everything, and now we can be notable because of it, and it didn't work. Because it's not, the shit they were trying to get me to do wasn't true to begin with, so obviously it never was going to work.
Let me show you, let me just show it right here real quick.
Phil has declared 14 bank loans on his bankruptcy form. These total up to over $130,000. From reading Phil's bankruptcy form, besides his lies, it seems his answers are often conflicting information. It feels that DSP Gaming is making his WWE Champion's gambling addiction spending as part of his business expense.
Not true, huh? Not true. Secret Limited, Secret Unlimited, thank you. You're the G for this.
These people were fucked up, all right? So basically, I stayed out of all of this all year. But, all right, always in the back of my head, I'm always wondering, and I've told you guys this too, I don't think anyone's ever going to give me a fair shake.
They, again, Sidescrollers did give you a fair shake. Review Tech was going to give you a fair shake. Mudhar, another one, was going to give you a fair shake. Again, and I'll say this one last time, you wanted another puff piece.
I just don't believe it. It seems like everyone is out for the drama. Everyone's out for personal gain. What's better? To completely spin something in a way that makes me look horrible for clickbait views that will benefit you, or to actually show me in a fair light. I'm not even saying show me in a positive light. I'm saying show me in a fair light.
They did show you in a fair light, Phil. They show you very, very fair. Even you said the interview with Sidescrollers was fair.
Have another side of the story to see what it's actually like from my perspective, to go through this, to live through all of this slander and nonsense that's happened to me for all these years, to just be a guy trying to get by with my community and having a good time and ignoring all the bullshit. And
the definition of a good time is when he gets anywhere between 120 to 200 in tips each and every night. That's him having a fun time. And guess what? If he gets more than that, he'll end the stream early.
Constantly, this stuff is going on outside, right? So, basically, all right, I got contact.
So you finally now gonna get to the point. Let's hear it, Phil.
Party. Someone who does not stand to benefit by actually portraying me in an incredibly negative way.
Oh my God, Phil, get to the fucking point.
It basically, let me put it this way. If you're someone who wants to actually make real content, if you're not someone who's a drama hound, if you're not someone who is, again, a Keemstar, a review tech, someone who all of your content is based on making someone look bad, correct? If you're someone who actually wants to make legit content, then you actually have to be fair. Because the moment that you're not, who else would ever want to work with you again, right?
Majority of people don't want to work with you because you are problematic. You are very, very hard to work with. There's just too much evidence proving that.
If you portray someone in an unfair way that makes them look awful, then no one else is ever going to want to work with you either. You understand? It has to be some way where you're actually being fair to the subject matter. All right? So, basically, I was contacted by Mike Clum.
By Mike Clum. He finally gets to the person that contact him, excuse me. So I'm gonna give him one more minute.
A documentary on Boogie, and before everyone freaks out about this, because I know a lot of people saw the Boogie documentary and were like, wow, that documentary was not positive. That documentary was very negative. It shows all the weaknesses of Boogie, all his shortcomings, the fact that he basically pissed his life away, all his money away, that he's a toxic guy who...
He's about to get into a long rant. What happened was, when Mike did that documentary on Boogie, he went through many different parts of what Boogie did. The one thing he didn't do is he didn't interview certain people. Well, he didn't interview anybody. He should have. I actually caught wind that Mike is going to be interviewing people that have dealt with Phil. And the reason I'm saying that right now is because he's just taking too long. Again, he's got 30 seconds. If he doesn't get to the point, I'm just going to end the video right here, ladies and gentlemen.
And he has all these issues. You're right. But that's what they wanted to do with that documentary. You understand? That's actually what they wanted to portray in that documentary. That was the whole point.
Let me just post when Mike talked to Review Tech right here.
Is this with his blessing, or is it just you're doing the doc?
Yeah, I'm working with Phil, and you know, most of the stuff I'm going to do is going to be with the people. I think it's there's a lot of people that are good at the documentaries that are sort of the commentary stuff. But I do think you know, I like to get in there and get access and have fun with it.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you, getting to the point. And Rich, thank you as well. Good. You guys really saved me from having a headache when it comes to Phil.
To show that side of his life, which I guess they felt had never been really revealed before. That's exactly what was good.
No. Fuck this. I had enough, because he's just going to continue on giving me more and more filler. And again, this video is going to be way too long. Well, he pretty much is going to talk about how this happened to Boogie, that happened to Boogie, and not talk about how Mike's going to do a fair interview with him. Mike, listen to me carefully. This is Vanguard. Do a fair do a fair documentary of him. Make sure it's very fair. Do not kiss his ass. Make sure it's down the middle. Because I really want, the question you should ask him is his addiction to WWE champions. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I apologize for all the stutter and whatever. This one really got me irked, annoyed, whatever. Usually I be cracking jokes, having fun with it. This one was a bit more of a pain. Anyways, that'll be it for this video. I got 2 more coming this week. Hopefully I'll get it out before the weekend. And I'll see y'all the next one. Take it easy.